Hi, Yousef. Congratulations on winning Best Visual Effects Award. Wow. Subterra is truly epic in scale and cinematic in every sense.
Hi, thanks for having me. I would like to sincerely thank your team for selecting Subterra as the winner of Best Visual Effects. This recognition means a lot to me. Festivals like yours are very important because they give independent filmmakers and creative people a chance to show what they are truly capable of. Many creators have strong visions, but they do not always have access to big budgets or traditional studios. Your support helps discover new talent and encourages new ways of creating cinema.
With the film being fully created using AI, we would love to dive into your creative process and ask you a few questions about the project. Where did the idea for Subterra originate? Did it begin with the image of a creature tearing through the city, or with a deeper metaphor about fears hidden beneath the surface?
The idea for Subterra started with one very clear image. One day I was standing on my balcony and suddenly I imagined a giant centipede wrapped around a skyscraper. I immediately tried to recreate that image with AI. After that, I started building the film backward. I asked myself, where did this creature come from? What happened before this moment? That led me to the city destruction, the police encounter, the metro tunnel and the underground cave. Later, I added the human metaphor, the idea that humanity itself had played a role in awakening or creating this monster.
The creature feels both realistic and otherworldly. How did you approach creating and developing it within your workflow?
For me, realism is very important. Even when I create something fictional, I want it to feel physically believable, with weight, texture, and scale. For Subterra, I wanted a massive 50-meter red and black centipede creature. Using Luma AI's text-to-video tools, I pushed the design toward a realistic and cinematic feeling. Luma interpreted the concept very well. It gave the creature a strong physical presence while still keeping it strange and otherworldly. That balance was exactly what I wanted.
The film powerfully conveys the scale of destruction, collapsing buildings, chaos, and mass panic. How did you achieve this sense of realism using AI?
My goal was not just to show destruction, I wanted the audience to feel that a real catastrophe was happening. To create that feeling, I used prompts focused on real chaos, panic, destruction, and disaster. But the editing was just as important. I used short shots, tight framing, camera shake, fast pacing, and sudden visual changes. Sound design also helped a lot. Warning sirens, impact sounds, and several events happening at the same time. The realism came from combining image, rhythm, sound, and editing.
What did your workflow look like? Was it a linear build of scenes or a process of continuous iteration and refinement?
Most of the images were already in my mind. I didn't use sketches or detailed storyboards. My workflow was based on prompting, testing, rejecting, and refining. I kept pushing Luma until it created something close to what I had imagined. For Subterra, I generated around 850 video outputs, but only about 50 were used in the final film. For me, AI filmmaking is not just generation. It is selection, editing, judgment, and persistence.
Tell me, what were the main limitations you faced while working with AI? Were there moments when the technology itself influenced your creative decisions?
Well, there were many limitations. Honestly, the final film is around 60% of what I truly wanted to create. The biggest challenges were keeping the creature consistent and creating complex physical interactions. For example, I wanted a shot inside a moving car where the creature approaches from behind and crushes the car. AI could not create that timing and impact properly. I also wanted cars being thrown through the streets as the creature moved. Current AI still struggles with controlled cause and effect destruction, and safety limits also affected some scenes involving people.
There is a striking contrast between the chaos of destruction and the almost silent presence of the creature. Was this an intentional artistic choice?
Yes, absolutely. The creature did not need to speak. Its presence was already the message. When it climbs the skyscraper, it is almost showing itself to humanity and saying, "Look at what you created through your own mistakes." I usually make films without dialogue because I believe images can speak directly to the audience. In Subterra, the silence made the creature feel even stronger. It does not explain itself. It simply exists as the consequence.
How did you approach camera work and composition within an AI environment to achieve such a cinematic feel?
I have been watching films seriously since I was around 7 years old. From a young age, I paid attention to camera angles, editing, rhythm, and how scenes affect the audience emotionally. That influenced how I created Subterra. I used short shots, tight framing, camera shake, sudden cuts, and visual shock to create tension. In AI filmmaking, you do not always have full control, so camera language becomes very important. For me, camera work is not just about showing action. It is about transferring emotion to the viewer.
The film can be interpreted as a metaphor, nature striking back, humanity facing the consequences of its actions. Was this meaning intentional from the start?
Not completely. At first, Subterra began with a strong visual idea, but after I created around one-third of the film, I started moving more toward metaphor and symbolism. I shaped the story around cause and consequence, something close to the butterfly effect. I believe a film should carry meaning, not just exciting images, but I did not want the message to feel preachy. I simply wanted to show actions, consequences, and innocent people paying the price for the mistakes of others.
My favorite question is how many iterations did it typically take to achieve a final shot or scene? And was there a particular shot that proved especially challenging?
On average, I generated around 10 to 20 versions for each shot before finding one that worked. The most difficult scene was the confrontation on top of the skyscraper. Sometimes the helicopters were wrong. Sometimes the creature did not look right. Sometimes the explosion was weak or the camera angle did not feel cinematic. The street-level scenes were also difficult because AI had limitations around showing direct harm to humans. So, the process required patience and many imperfect attempts before finding the right cinematic moment.
How do you see the future of visual effects in AI-driven filmmaking? Can this approach replace traditional VFX, or is it a parallel path?
I believe AI will replace a large part of traditional visual effects workflows in the coming years, but only if the tools become more controllable. What we need is a true 3D creative environment, something closer to Unreal Engine, but powered by AI. Filmmakers should be able to control lighting, color, camera movement, character placement, and action inside a persistent world. Right now, AI is very useful for short films, concept creation, previs, and some limited VFX work. But once control and consistency improve, AI will become a major part of the filmmaking pipeline.
And once again, congratulations. Subterra sets a very high bar for visual storytelling, and we look forward to your future projects.
Thank you again for the recognition and the opportunity to share Subterra with your audience.